Just here down in San Clemente, packing the van up and getting ready to be on trail for a couple of weeks. And it is Thursday, and we are on our way through the god-awful hellscape that is the 91 in commute hours. Dun, dun,
It's not commute hours, it's 3 o'clock.
Yeah, nobody works anymore, don't you know?
Apparently not.
There are many things I dislike about living out in Southern California, and one of them would be the 91. Okay, I'm normally not a fan of cash and water, but I'm going to do this. I should be back here tomorrow, hopefully. So last time I did a hike out here in the vicinity of Borrego Springs, we had to cache some food and water, and I actually brought a shovel and ended up digging a hole in the ground and burying everything so nothing could get at it. Hopefully I don't regret just leaving those jugs in the bush. Ah, motel. And here we are, the illustriously named Ray and Carol's Motel by the Sea. A little basic for 120 bucks, but hey, it works. And Jen has to leave early in the morning. What time are you leaving in the morning, Blondie?
At 3 in the morning.
Oh no. Home sweet home for the night. I'm just sitting here at about 7, drinking my coffee and charging up the last of my devices, and then I'll get moving and see how this is going to go. Going to try and really overhydrate this morning. A bit of a change from last weekend, huh? 5 degrees out at snow camp, and it's going to get up into the high 80s during this trip. I keep thinking maybe I should downsize from the Catalyst to the Circuit or the CDT or one of those other cool packs, but I don't want to spend the money. And then something like this happened. So Jen and I had our car stuff with us. She left at 3 o'clock in the morning and forgot my half-gallon drinking jug. So I got to carry this thing the entire way. That'll be fun. It's all training, right? Okay, setting out from the hotel around 9 o'clock. Not a bad option, a little pricey, but you know, we're kind of limited out here. And there's the Salton Sea. So Salton Sea is kind of interesting because it's this inland sea that was basically recreated by a flood and then maintained. And in the 50s and 60s, it became a major resort. So there are areas out here that are built up and then decayed. They're kind of fascinating to explore if you're into that kind of like urban ruin hunting. So I only just found out about the San Diego Trans-County Trail a couple of months ago from another hiker friend. Normally people do this around, you know, New Year's or so. I'm a little bit late in the season, so I'm going to have some warm temperatures, and water carries might be a challenge, but it's still doable. So I got a few extra miles to reach the, I guess it'd be the eastern terminus of the San Diego Trans-County Trail. And then I have one water cache for this entire thing in the initial section, so I wouldn't have to start out carrying like 2.5 gallons. That's going to be about 14 miles from the terminus. I'll fill up, drink, and then that'll let me push into Borrego Springs, which is my first resupply in a couple of days. These days, not so much of a resort. At least the smell is pretty awful when the wind comes off the water. Yeah. Save the sea indeed. And there's where I was a couple of weekends ago. That's Jacinto Gorgonio in the background. This actually isn't sand, it's all these bones and shells that have been collecting here. So the lake has been shrinking for decades, and they keep warning us about it's exposing bad stuff on the bottom of the lake bed, aka what I'm walking on now. Unfortunately, with the drought out west, they just don't have the water to be able to pump in here anymore. And the water, they do farm in this valley, if you can believe it. So there is a lot of ag runoff over the years that's gone into here. So the water's largely considered something you don't want any contact with. There are fish in here, though they have mass die-offs periodically. So I'm guessing those mobile homes were beachfront at one point. Usually why I've been out here is the mountains back there. You got Rosa and Rabbit and Villager, which are really cool hikes. I can best describe the smell as kind of like a light waft of sewage. Okay, I think we're gonna call this the start. Now on the map, there's an old marina However, yeah, length shrunk a bit since the last map update. Well, that kind of sucks to buy a house oceanfront and not have it work out so much. Okay, so this is what I have marked as the terminus, which at some point was by the water, but yeah. Okay, now just 150 some miles to go. Plus, I've got some bonus miles on the far side to, get to a train station or something. So I do have a track for this route that I'll make available in case anybody else is interested in doing this sort of thing. But basically, I'm cutting across this plain to Salton Wash, and then I head in towards the mountains. At least it's nice and cool today. Breeze is going. This is sort to wait out the heat of the day. This would be pretty much perfect, other than the traffic noise. It is a bit on the warm side in the middle of the day, which isn't too bad. I wouldn't say no to a bit more water though. So I've been passed by about 5 or so ATVs so far. So I've passed a couple of springs, most of which are dry. However, I have come across a couple of these puddles. Not quite ideal since there's vehicles driving through them, but maybe there'll be something up here. Hey, trail magic. Apparently they're not used to seeing people walking way out here. Okay, so I've done about 10, 11 miles so far per my watch. I thought that my water cache was going to be about 13 miles from the start, but it looks like that might be have been a slight underestimation, so I might have to push it here a little with the water I got. But, oh well, hottest point of the day is right now, so it should be improving from here, and I don't mind walking late. I have 2 gallons of water stashed, but it might be another 12 miles from here now. Whole lot of nothing, except for this, which is why I came up here. Okay, about an hour before dark, and I am officially in Anza-Borrego. My water cache is in about 5 miles, so my goal is just to reach that and then find someplace set up for the night. Well, if it wasn't for the water thing, I think I would have pulled over already. So this is the Truckhaven Trail, which was actually part of the California Desert Trail that I did the first couple of days on a few years ago before the PCT. So yeah, it seems like Salton Sea might be on fire again. Huh. Well, that woke me up. Went to the bush that I thought was my cache and no bottles. Okay. There's the water to get me to Borrego Springs. Okay, 7:30, but I'm beat. Did about 23 and a half miles. Got my water. It took me a while to actually find a place I felt safe camping because I'm in a wash with tracks everywhere, but finally found there's a fire pit right over there, and I think I'm surrounded enough by brush. Should be good. See how it goes in the morning.